A lot of people talk about your team as favourites. How does that mantle sit with you?
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
But also, we've got to make sure that we perform to that level too. So, look, I think there's, we all know Australia's had a few runs on the board over World Cups, and New Zealand's only had one in 2008. So, it's about building on that. And I know I've got a group that's very keen to succeed, and they'll be a part of that history.
I mean, considering the impact that COVID's had, the Warriors haven't played at home, what would a World Cup mean for New Zealand? Also at a time when the All Blacks are, they're struggling.
Yeah, it'd be enormous. I've spent a fair bit of time backwards and forwards going to New Zealand, and unfortunately the game's probably taken a bit of a hit because of the fact there's no Warriors, but it's nice to see them back in there now. But to be able to take the World Cup back to New Zealand, I think it'd be very special for everyone over there. And I guess people sometimes don't give them enough recognition about the player development that's coming out of New Zealand. That's helped the nations that are building now, and that's been going on in the background for quite some time. So to be able to take the World Cup back into New Zealand will definitely help the grassroots, along with the history of what it's all about with the World Cup.
You seem to have a very settled team at the moment as well, something that you've tried to inculcate in the time that you've been in charge. Is that going to help you, do you think?
I think so. I mean, we had a mid-year test which we were able to come together. I guess the Australians have the origin, and they're playing at intensities at above and beyond sort of club level. So it was nice to actually bring our players together and play at a pretty decent level there together as a group. And then over the longevity of being in the job, it's helped me to build the relationships with the players and bring the same players together to build that sort of connection and the cohesion of what good teams are made of.
I don't envy your selection of forwards. Obviously, we saw how well they went on Saturday, which you said don't read too much into that, but that was without at least 2 or 3 players who have either played in grand finals or...
I was very lucky to say that I had 6 players that played in the grand final. I was sitting on the sideline, and I had Joey Manu and Joe Hargreaves sitting there as well. But look, Leeds, to their credit, they had to put a team together because a number of their grand finalists were not in the team because of injury or at rep duty. So, respect for what it was. But it was a good hit out for us to play a game of footy again, and it was nice to see a few of the combinations. We trialled a few things as well, which is good.
And do you know what your best 17 is to kick off this weekend?
Look, I've got in my mind, what it'll be. But also too, across the course of the World Cup, it's about performance, and players will get an opportunity if I see fit to where they're at, because I have, as you said, I've got some guys that I could put one in and I could put another one in at similar levels. So it's about how they come together as a group. That's the key.
I know you weren't involved 5 years ago, but obviously that was a very disappointing tournament for New Zealand. Is that a motivation for this team, or are they, they're kind of, this is a new team going forward?
I think the organisation itself has changed a bit, and there was some unforeseen circumstances, I think, leading into that, which became pretty tricky for them. But look, I've really focused on us moving forward, and the fact that I still pay reference to the past, and that there's a number of these players that have built various values about who we are as a group to where we are now. So, and you take your lessons.
I saw Steve Price last week. Can you get him to shave that moustache? It's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty ordinary.
Is he trying to be Oliver Millard or something?
I don't know. He's just a character old Pricey. So,
But the team unity seems great. You can see that in the mid-season test against Tonga. Your team was amazing.
They're a pretty tight group, actually. They are. Well, actually, they're a very tight group. And so coming into camp, I love it. You just stand back and you watch them, because a lot of them have grown up with each other or played footy somewhere outside the Kiwi team as well. So there's a really strong bond between the boys. And obviously when you tour, you do get tight with the group. The stories and the laughs that you have along the way.
You've talked about how special it was on Saturday, against Leeds. That kind of emotion and that kind of event, provide extra inspiration for the tournament.
Oh, look, I'd like to think so. We're lucky to have Tommy Luluai come in and to see all the Kiwis perform the haka with Tommy and his 3 daughters. They're special things that make up what the Kiwis stand for. So having those moments in the background, I think it plays a big part in what your culture is and who your people are, and you can see how much respect everyone had for Tommy, and I think all the Kiwis have a lot of respect for anyone that's put the jersey on.
Have you looked further ahead into the tournament, or how far you might go, or who you might play, quarter-final, semi-final, or are you just concentrating on the group stages?
We just want to make sure that we handle what's in front of us. That's the key. As you get going, well, myself personally, we're probably more about ourselves because there are teams there that I don't really know some of the players and how they'll come together, but what you've got to do is continually practice and work on yourself. So I think we do that. That'll give us a good opportunity at the back end.
You obviously live in Australia and you've coached in there a long time. What do you think of the Kangaroos? Is there a bit of pressure on them? Losing to Tonga last time, they haven't played a game for...
They're a strong outfit. I think all their players have played at the highest level for a long time. They've played in Oranges and things like that. They've got to come together just like all of us. So, as I said, we'll look at ourselves, and if we deal with that, then I think I've got the talent that can go where we want to go.
You had a great night at Wigan. They made a nice tribute to you when you came over. What's it like being back? Are you enjoying?
That was unreal. It was excellent, actually. I was quite shocked at what Chris Radlinski's doing there, and the organisation. They do things at a high level. Obviously I was just talking with Ian, and I was walking along, and there was a big curtain. I had no idea what was behind the curtain because we were actually running a bit late, and they'd all been waiting. We got stuck in traffic as you do on the M62 or whatever it was.
That hasn't
that hasn't changed.
It's got worse.
Yeah. Well, we definitely got caught in it, and I was literally walking up, and they called me up, and so I had to run down I came around, and there was about 400 people sitting there, and it was a great night. They did it really well, but then to sit and talk to a lot of the great fans that I recognise all the faces. They all came up, and when you have a good time like we did, we got to know a lot of the great fans, but I also had a lot of the great players there. Deeks, Faz, Lockers, Fecker, there were a few more there touched base with quite a lot of them since I've been here, so I'm keen to try and catch up with them. So anyway, it was a good night.
Would you consider coaching in Super League again?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Would anyone take your fancy other than Wigan? Or?
Look, at the moment I'll do the Kiwi job first. Yeah.